What is up? I'm back from a long hiatus. It seems like I have a huge haul to just share with you guys. Been a crazy last few months for me, work-wise, life-wise, everything-wise. So I thought today, since I did have a little bit of time, there is a bunch of stuff I wanted to share with you that I picked up recently. There's a lot of movies I haven't shared with you that's already up in the collection. And maybe I'll save that for a stream at some point. But for now, I have tons of stuff to go over with you. I got Paramount Presents, I got standard releases, I got Steelbooks, I got Criterion, I got Kino. Yeah, we're gonna go through it all. I'm not gonna show off everything with every release. A lot of the Steelbooks are still wrapped in plastic, so I may do separate unboxing videos like I did in the past for each one, or as you'll see, some of them together. But all in all, I'm back, folks. Let's get to it. If you're new to my channel, or it's been a while since you've been to my channel, you know I mainly focus on 4K format, so we're only going to be showing 4K discs today. Some of these I've had for a couple of weeks now. Others are literally as new as today. We are kind of counting down the last days of the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. I believe it ends this Sunday. If you know me, last year I completely held off on Criterion at all. I didn't pick up any releases last year. This year I did pick up a few, and I do plan on picking up a couple more before the sale ends. But with that out of the way, let's get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time. First up, this is a Sergio Leone film. Great Western. I don't think gets enough love, but Once Upon a Time in the West. Great movie. It is really long. Sergio Leone's Westerns can be that way, obviously, if you've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think this one gets overlooked from the Dollar trilogy, but this is a very good film. One of his later films, not his latest, but you got Charles Bronson, Henry Fonda, the beautiful Claudia Cardinal in this, Jason Robards as well. Great movie. Again, it is a little long, but you gotta love the soundtracks of these types of movies. It's very epic, and it just looks incredible in 4K. Really dug how this one turned out, but you do got to plan accordingly. It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes, give or take, 2 hours and 45. As always, Paramount Presents kind of puts the original poster art there in the front, but this does come with some cool features. There's a new commentary on there, as well as a new look back with Leonard Maltin. So there is some other ported over features I'm sure were in the Blu-ray release, but to see some brand new features is awesome. Obviously, I haven't gotten into those yet. I just watched the movie recently, so I'll have to check those out at some point. But another fantastic release from Paramount Presents, and this is spine number, if you can see it, if my lighting's all fucked up, 44. So that's that one. This next one, this one came out, I believe, late last year. I held off on it. As you know, with these Paramount Presents, they always are so pricey. They come out, they're like $35, $36. So if I see it drop under 30, I try to pick them up if it's something I'm interested in. This is a Best Picture winner from 1983. I guess that's controversial to some people. I get it. This is not my typical type of movie that I will be reviewing or talking about or unboxing or even picking up. But this one is a very good movie. I highly recommend you check it out at least once. That's Terms of Endearment. Got an all-star cast. Deborah Winger, Shirley MacLaine, who wins Best Actress role. You got Jack Nicholson. Danny DeVito's in here. You got a young Jeff Bridges. There is just a lot going on here. John Lithgow's in this movie. So, yeah. Terms of Endearment, I'm not going to go into it, but it's basically a story about a daughter and her mom kind of going through life. It's got some dark humor in it. It's got kind of everything drama. It's sad. It's a sad ending if you haven't seen it, but looks great on 4K. Again, original artwork kind of here with Deborah Winger and Shirley MacLaine. Yeah, there is a new filmmaker focus as far as special features on here, but yeah, that's one I would recommend you check out. It's maybe not everyone's gonna pick that one up. It's Spine 42. Sorry for the glare. So those are the Paramount Present 4Ks that I've recently picked up. They got a couple announcements. Election, I think To Catch a Thief, just got announced, so be looking forward to some other ones as well. But anyway, moving on to some more releases. These are going to be Paramounts. These are comedies. These are ones I've been waiting for since I started collecting 4K. Some of you might despise these movies. That's completely okay, but I love them. Team America, World Police. First time on 4K. You get both the theatrical and the uncut versions, which literally is about 30 seconds. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what scene it is. But all in all, it's just hilarious movie from Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the makers of South Park. What they can do with these puppets, it's absolutely great. There's no new features on here, but there is a couple of different things on there, so it's nice to see Paramount included, and it does come with the Blu-ray. Seems like Paramount picks and chooses which movies come with a Blu-ray and which just come with the 4K and the digital. But great, funny adult comedy that you should check out if you haven't. And speaking of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, of course, I had to pick up South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I do really like this cover that they did, including a lot of the characters of South Park in this front cover. But yeah, this is probably my favorite musical of all time. It's one I can always get into and sing along no matter what. I've watched this movie way too many times. Again, this one doesn't really have too many special features. There is a commentary, which I believe was ported over, and they got a music video of the of one of the songs. But yeah, super funny, not for kids, as most everyone would know already. But yeah, glad to. Does this need a 4K? Probably not, with the animation style that they use in this. But all in all, this is just so much fun, so quotable. Operation Human Shield. I mean, it's just great. Had to have that. Next one up, this is a Steelbook that came out a long time ago, and I wanted to pick it up just because the artwork was so cool on it, but I never had seen it before, and I wasn't going to drop $30. This is a Sony 4K Steelbook, and I guess they re-released it. It was on Amazon for like $21, and I pulled the trigger, and that is Heavy Metal. This comes with Heavy Metal 2000. It's got quite a bit of special features. Let's just kind of show it off real quick. Got some cool artwork there. Again, I wouldn't, I mean, unless you're a huge fan of this, I wouldn't jump and to pick this up. I hadn't seen it, so I was very skeptical, but the fact that I got two movies for 20 bucks in a 4K Steelbook with the Blu-rays, with the digitals, I thought I'd go ahead and do it. I'll just show you. It's got some cool disc art as well on it. This was back when Sony didn't do any inside artwork, as you can see by the color there. But yeah, no, awesome disc art on this one. Is it a great movie? No, not really. But there's some awesome actors who lend their voice in this. If you've seen the original, you got John Candy, Eugene Levy, just to name a few. And if you've seen Heavy Metal 2000, it's got Michael Ironside. Billy Idol plays a role in it. I watched both of them. I think I like Heavy Metal 2000 more. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. It's way more violent. It's a linear story. It's a lot easier to follow. The first one is an anthology movie, so there's a lot of different stories that kind of all go together. The soundtrack for Heavy Metal is awesome. The Heavy Metal 2000 soundtrack was okay, but it was definitely not as iconic as the first one. But either way, Heavy Metal there on 4K. This movie is one of my favorites of the year. Very untalked about, overlooked, not sure why. Just an action, bloody, violent fest. I don't know. The director calls it a fucked up fairy tale. That's a good way to put it. This is, for me, this year's Sisu, and that is Boy Kills World. This is from Lionsgate. Cool slipcover. I really wish they would have came out with a Steelbook. Maybe they will at some point. But if you haven't seen this, Bill Skarsgård absolutely kills this role. He plays Boy, who's mute, and basically goes on a mission to kill all these people that killed his family. And his inner voice is narrated by H. John Benjamin, who of course does Archer. He does Bob's Burgers. He does a lot of different voices. So it's super funny. Lots of cool, gory kills. I watched the making of. There is a special feature on here of them making it, and there's just so many different special martial arts that are used in this film, and they really go for it in this. So I really dug it. Definitely worth a watch. It's from the producers of Evil Dead and Barbarian. I know people love that, but yeah, definitely check out Boy Kills World if you have not. Highly recommended. So the next couple movies I have here are Kino Lorber. As you know, I'm basically a Kino fanatic when it comes to 4Ks. Try to pick up every release. So these are all fairly newer ones. We have Narrow Margin, which is a Gene Hackman thriller. Takes place on a train. I really enjoyed this film. Very underrated. Gonna go through these quick, by the way. Don't want to waste too much time. Blown Away. This came out in 1994. This has got Tommy Lee Jones, Jeff Bridges, so it's about bombs. And as if you know, this definitely got overlooked because Speed came out the same year. This was a big budget film. It's got a lot of good moments in it. I think it's just missing one or two things to really put this movie over the top. But it's definitely worth checking out and definitely worth a rewatch in the future. I enjoyed this one as well. And speaking of movies that come out the same year as other bigger movies, this came out in 1997. Starring Ray Liotta, and that is Turbulence, which, of course, if you know, this is the same year that Air Force One came out with Harrison Ford, and obviously that kind of just totally dwarfed over this movie. This was a fun time. I had never seen this. It's a thriller up in the sky, kind of similar. Obviously, it doesn't take place on Air Force One, but a 747 on Christmas Eve coming from New York to Los Angeles. There's a huge storm. And Ray Liotta is the bad guy on here. You also have Brendan Gleeson. Is that right? Yeah, Brendan Gleeson plays the other bad guy in this, which is awesome. But yeah, definitely check this one out. Really good time. These are brand new. Well, they came out last week. This is the original OG Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Haven't checked this one out yet. Heard lots of great things. It's from 1956. It's only 80 minutes. It is black and white. I have, of course, the remake with Donald Sutherland from the 70s and Jeff Goldblum. Really, really love that movie. So I can't wait to check this one out. I also have the book. I just haven't read it yet. I need to check that one out. But yeah, super excited to check this out. There's 4 different audio commentaries on here, and there's a couple different special features. So this is one that looks like Kino absolutely knocked it out of the park. I'm interested to see how that 4K looks in the black and white. And then this movie. I can't talk shit on it. I've never seen it before, but this is not the type of movie I would ever buy or go see. But hey, it's on Kino 4K, so I picked it up. I've heard it's a great movie. I don't know how many times I'm going to watch this. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it at some point, but I don't know how many times I will revisit it, but it will sit on my shelf. This is an Ang Lee film. Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, Anne Hathaway. And you got Brokeback Mountain. So kind of an interesting title, I think, to come to Kino, but I picked this one up early. I just feel like this type of title, when it's a bigger name like this, these slipcovers tend to sell out fairly quickly within a couple weeks. So I wanted to pick that up and not have to spend a pretty penny on getting the slipcover. But no new special features that it shows, but audio commentary, a making of, a lot of different featurettes on there. So looks like another standard cool release from Kino. Like I said, I can't say I'm excited to check it out, but I've heard nothing but good things about it, regardless of what you think of what it's about. So we'll see. All right, we are getting into it here. So it is Criterion month. I did go to Barnes & Noble and pick up 3 Criterions. They said they had all these different ones that I wanted in stock. There was none to be seen. There's no one working over there. You want to go talk to someone in customer service. The line was like 10, 15 people deep. And I have to mention, this is the first time I've been in Barnes & Noble in probably 3 or 4 years. Any other previous Criterion sale, if I did buy anything, I always ordered online. I just have had a better success that way, and I just tell you, it's some interesting people inside Barnes & Noble. Anyway, so first one I picked up, this is going to be a random one you're not going to expect. I didn't expect to pick this up, but I'm glad I did. From 1939, The Roaring Twenties. Yeah, Humphrey Bogart stars in this. James Cagney is actually the main guy. This is a great film. Kind of detailing from World War I through Prohibition. and kind of one of the last gangster films of this era. But yeah, 1939, tons of great movies came out during this time. This 4K looks absolutely fantastic, and this movie is great. Tons of different one-liners in it. I really enjoyed this a lot. I had read about it, watched the trailer, was very interested in it. I'm glad I did pick it up, so I can highly, highly recommend Roaring Twenties. This I just watched recently via the Criterion streaming service, and absolutely fell in love with it. I had tried watching it before, and I don't know, I could only get like 10-15 minutes in before I turned it off, but this second time through, I absolutely fell in love with it, so I picked it up. Joel and Ethan Coen, Blood Simple. I haven't checked it out, obviously, yet in 4K. It's the one downfall of the Criterion Channel collection streaming service is none of the titles they have on 4K actually stream in 4K, so that would be something I would recommend to them. But yeah, this is a really quick 95-minute movie thriller. Yeah, you know, if you don't know about it, check it out. I'm not going to go into it. People can speak to this movie a lot better than I can. But yeah, this is just a great movie. I think it's Frances McDermott's first role. Dan Hedaya is just incredible in this. But yeah, Emmett Walsh also is great in this. Absolutely loved his character. But yeah, Blood Simple, check that one out. And when this was announced on Criterion, this was a must for me, and so I had to pick it up. That's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This does not fit into everyone's shelf. I could see this is definitely for certain people. But yeah, this is a trip of a movie by Terry Gilliam. Obviously, kind of telling the story of Hunter S. Thompson. He has a book written called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, basically a story of him and his lawyer going to Las Vegas to cover the Mint 400 and the absolute chaos, shenanigans, whatever you want to call it, they get into. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic movie. This movie looks so good in 4K. I can't tell you how great it looks in 4K, especially with all the trippy stuff that happens in it. But yeah, I don't see anything new as far as the special features. I mean, it is loaded as typical with Criterion, but the fact that you get 3 commentaries, one from the director, one from Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, who absolutely kills their roles, but also one from Hunter S. Thompson himself. So super, super cool movie. And it's just one of those ones that it's kind of weird that it's in Criterion. Just to me doesn't kind of fit their bill, but man, did I have a great time rewatching this in 4K. Love, love, love it. All right, so the last ones I have are all going to be Steelbooks. These are all from Groove. It's funny, you can still just throw in a random email and get that 20% off, so I did. A couple Steelbooks just came out. Kind of don't have these in order, but got Rocky 5, and I got these mainly because I have the first Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4 all on Steelbook. So the fact that they kept the same kind of artwork, same font, same color, all that stuff going, I decided I have to at least finish the collection there. So I did pick up Rocky 5, and then also picked up Rocky Balboa, which I feel is a very underrated movie. This is probably my second favorite Rocky out of all of them. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I probably will be doing an unboxing of both of these together and showing off all the other Steelbooks that have come out for Rocky. But yeah, picked up both of these from Groove. I also, so hate me or not, I did pick up Ocean's 11. And you're probably wondering, where's Ocean's 12? Where's Ocean's 13? I haven't seen those movies. I did want to pick them up. The Steelbooks look great. Obviously, they match with this one. But I've only seen this one, and I really do enjoy it. Not to say that I won't enjoy the other two, but maybe I'll pick those up at another time. Maybe I'll miss out on them. Not quite sure, but obviously, all-star cast. Ocean's 11, the original, is fantastic. That is one I can speak to. There's 2 commentaries on there, making of pros and cons, style of steel, so a lot of cool stuff. And I always with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I just like these movies that take place in Vegas, especially older Vegas. Vegas changes all the time with newer hotels or updates or, renovations. So it's always cool to see stuff that's not there anymore. And then in this one, there is still hotels and casinos still obviously in this one that resemble today. But anyway, Ocean's 11, cool Steelbook there from Groove. And then I got some animated ones. I really dug these first part 1 and 2 of this series. These just came out this year. but I'll just briefly go over them. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Say that 3 times fast. Just crazy amount of superheroes in this. And then I also got Part 2. Yeah, can't recommend these enough. I really like what they did with them. I don't know, the spine kind of is just blah. But yeah, there's some special features on here. They're 1.5 hours each. And they just literally today released Part 3. They literally released Part 3 today. Of course, this comes separately from the other ones. And look at this bad boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's funny from here. You can kind of see the huge dent in it, but yeah, it is smashed. Obviously, you can see it from this angle a lot better. But yeah, got the return started. Very disappointing. I was happy. I've heard horror stories from Groove. People telling me, like, don't get Steelbooks from there. They always come damaged. And I've even heard people say, like, when you return them, they kind of send, like, another damaged one back. So I hope that's not the case, but I do have the return started with them. This is my first return with Groove. I've had pretty good luck. The fact that I got 5 Steelbooks and none of them were damaged, at least significantly that I can see with the plastic on, is a good thing. But yeah, I did watch Part 3. It was good. If you're familiar with Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, they did the original voices of Batman and Joker in these animated movies. This is their last movie together. Kevin Conroy's been dead for a little bit, but they had parts already recorded from him for this movie, supposedly. And Mark Hamill said that once Kevin Conroy was done, he would be done. So this is their very last animated voices for Batman and the Joker ever. So that is all cool. I just, with the first 2 parts, I thought the first 2 parts were really good. This third one could have been better. It's going to have to, I'm going to have to rewatch it a couple more times. But yeah, just a little disappointed it is completely smashed. But yeah, that is everything, guys. I don't know if I can do one of these towers that all the cool people on YouTube do, but we'll try it. There you go. The beautiful tower. Thank you guys for all of you who've stuck around. I appreciate it. I'm going to try and come back to a cadence here on YouTube. You probably see me starting to kind of come back into chats here and there, so I do hope to see you guys there. But yeah, leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you've been up to, what you've been picking up, if you have any recommendations for me. But I'm glad to be back. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.